Which is the best hot tent teepee? Is it the FireHiking 48-person teepee? Or is it the OneTigris RockFortress? Let's compare these tents head to head and see which one comes out on top. If you've been searching on Amazon for a hot tent teepee, chances are you would have come across two very popular brands, FireHiking and OneTigris. The FireHiking 48-person teepee is currently at $230, while the OneTigris RockFortress is currently at $290. So the edge for this goes to FireHiking, but I will caveat this and say that if you monitor it daily, you will find that OneTigris often drops its prices down to be comparable to FireHiking. Why, just yesterday it was at $232. Let's take a look at the dimensions. The FireHiking has 16.4 foot diameter and is 7.9 feet high, and the OneTigris is 12.4 feet in diameter and 7.8 feet high. So they both have roughly the same height, but the FireHiking is about 4 feet wider. So the advantage on space actually goes to FireHiking. Let's take a look at the ratings. Currently, FireHiking 48-person teepee is currently at 4.0 stars out of 24 ratings, and 48% of those ratings gave it a 5-star review. OneTigris RockFortress has 4.4 stars out of 277 ratings, and 68% of those gave it a 5-star review. So the edge for this goes to OneTigris.
Let's talk about venting real quick. The FireHiking has 4 vents, 2 up on high and 2 down at low, right here. Whereas the RockFortress has 2 vents only up at the top. One of the advantages that the OneTigris has is this piece. You see the multiple holes is that you can adjust the height of the pole as it goes up. So you put it in and it only matches up with this one. This is the one I usually put up on the top. And that's the only one that would actually go all the way through. Don't think you really will find that in the instructions. You can see it'll go all the way down and you can adjust it to the height. So what you want to do is that when you're getting the tent set up, you put it on the lowest setting and then raise it up as you need to.
Let's take a look at the material that these tents are made out of. The FireHiking is made out of 70D polyester material, and the OneTigris is a 40D nylon with silicone coating fabric. The D in these stands for denier, and basically the higher the D, the better. The more tougher and more durable it is. So FireHiking with 70D edges out OneTigris that has 40D nylon. However, it should be said that both of these advertise as being 3,000 millimeter as far as water pressure goes, and the higher that number, the more water resistant and waterproof that the fabric can endure before water gets through. Up to 2,000 millimeter, it is water resistant at very light rain. Between 2,000 and 5,000 millimeter, it is waterproof and light to average rain. 5,000 to 10,000, it's very waterproof under moderate to heavy rains. And 10,000 and above, it's highly waterproof under heavy rains. It should be said that under moderate to heavy rain, both of these tents will have moisture on the inside of the tent. But I found in my experience that water just runs down on the inside rather than leak or rain upon you.
Another one of the big questions that you're going to have is, what about the size? I mean, can you really fit 4 to 8 people in the FireHiking? Right now, I'm going to show you the way I have it set up. We have 2 cots in here. We have a regular size cot, and then this is actually a super size cot. I need a bigger cot. All right, and then we also have a stove. And you can see, and I'll do a couple more shots in here. You can see how much room there is, and you could probably fit 1 more cot over here. And really, if you wanted to put everybody on sleeping bags on the ground, you could probably fit about 5 to 6 people. So the size of this is huge. It's 16 feet across. I can stand up in it. It goes up to 7.9 feet here in the center, and there's a little bit more room. Now, one of the disadvantages of teepee tents is going to be the same for this one and the other one. You got the pole in the middle. You're going to find yourself walking around this all the time. And if you have a running stove that's hot, well, you don't want to walk too close to it and accidentally touch it. I'll do a video from the interior. You can see that there's space there for 1 cot there. You got the stove here. A little stump there that I brought in, a little round to split wood on. And then as you can see from over here, there's the room for another cot, or maybe 2 2 people on the ground with sleeping bags. Let's try to get it from another angle. Holding it up high. As you can see, there's good room in here, but I would not put 4 to 8 people in here on cots. And I'll do a quick video of walking around in here just to show you that there is room in here, but you do have to walk around the pole all the time. When you get to the edges, and this is one of the disadvantages of this tent, is that because of the angle of the tent as it goes down, I would recommend that you get really low seats, because then you can back it up further against the wall of the tent. If you have high seats, your head's going to be in this more towards the center. So you want lower seats so you can sit down lower and back it up a little further. It gives you a little bit more room.
And if you find that you don't want the tent pole in there, you can always just run a line through it and connect it to between 2 trees in order to raise it up. And that way you don't have to worry about the pole and walking all the way around it.
Okay, so now I moved all the items from over there and put it in here, and I didn't bring the blankets. I can talk. But what I did was I brought the cots over, I brought the stove over, and I brought the that wood round over. So you see, you can compare the actual sizes. So I'm going to zoom the camera around in here so you can take a look and see how much space there is whenever you have 2 cots. Now remember, this is an oversized cot, and you got a wood stove. Obviously, I don't have the stove hooked up, but I just brought it in here to show you the size of it. Now, I can't stand up straight in here, but I can't walk very far before hitting the pole or a very hot wood stove. So with 2 cots in here, it's going to be a little tight. And if you're going to have up to 7 people in here, you better be on the ground and spread out, no stove. But it's a nice tent otherwise. One of the features that both the FireHiking and the OneTigris RockFortress has in common is that from the pole, you can hang up lights. And I'm going to just show you this right here. See that? See how it comes out? Well, the RockFortress, if you could put that baggie that the poles are in and you put it over the top of the pole, you got these loops that you can hang a light from too. See? Okay, let's talk about the reviews of both of these tents from people who posted on Amazon, you know, their little review of them. Let's talk about the FireHiking reviews, just some things that I noticed. Well, first of all, not enough, there's a few complaints that not enough tent stakes came with the product. There was a recommendation that because of the way the tent is and it goes out like this, you have to have, just like as I mentioned earlier, you want a lower stool in order to be able to sit towards the edge of the tent. So what does that mean when it's down like that? Well, that means with one zipper, you have to get down on the ground in order to unzip it. And it takes 2 hands because you got to hold the fabric and then you got to pull the zipper. Otherwise, if you pull the zipper in the fabric will come up at the same time as well. So 2-handed, get on the ground. Now, if it's raining, there's snow on the ground, that's going to stink. All right, so you're going to want a mat there. So FireHiking has an advantage of being a bigger tent. It has a disadvantage of having only 1 zipper on each door. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So assume that this is all zipped up. To get unzipped, I have to actually get down on the ground, hold this with 1 hand, and pull it up with the zipper. So after you come back in order to zip it up, you got to pull it all the way back down, get back on the ground. Again, if there's ice on the ground, it's wet, it's going to be nasty. Okay, let's talk about the reviews for the OneTigris RockFortress. Okay, in one of the reviews, the person complained that the zipper broke. I think it was 1, maybe 2 people. Again, there was a lot more reviews. One person said, actually there was more than one person. I saw it in another place, leaking at the seams, and OneTigris said, yeah, it's manufacturer defect. They apparently sent them a new tent. So good on OneTigris for that. So kudos. The other thing is that, you know, a few people said, hey, you know, this tent stood up to strong winds. And I can confirm that both of these tents, I've stayed in both, and we get a lot of winds here. They both did really well on the winds. So I don't know if there was one advantage over the other with regards to the winds are. And a few people didn't like that there was a lack of documentation to show you how to set up the tent. And that's true. There is not much there. I would recommend that if you get either one of these tents, go ahead, pull it out, set it up in your backyard, set it up, take it down a few times, maybe even camp out in your backyard, get used to it, because then you get used to seeing how it works. And before you actually go camping with it, maybe spray it and water it now with a water hose to see if it's leaking anywhere at any seams. But to tell you the truth, on both of these, I didn't have any issues with either rain, wind. Hasn't snowed yet, but in either situation in the weather, they both held up just fine. Okay, so to sum up, which one do I like better? They both have their advantages and disadvantages. What I like about the RockFortress is I like the quality of it. I think better. It has 2 zippers for every door, so you don't have to get up and get down on the ground in order to unzip it. It's got 2 zippers, so it either way, from whether you're inside or outside, you can start with the top and go all the way down. That is the advantage for that one. Okay, it is a little smaller, so and the FireHiking is a little bigger. The disadvantage with it is that I didn't like how you have to get on the ground to do the zipper. So if FireHiking is listening, if you want an improvement, something that you could do to make this really stand out to be a clear winner, add another zipper, because they both have 2 doors. They both have good quality material, I believe. But the advantage over the FireHiking is the size, but the disadvantage of the FireHiking is the zipper. So to sum up, which one is the winner? Well, it kind of depends on your situation. If you're going by yourself, I like the RockFortress. Okay, if you're doing it one person, maybe 2, with the stove. With the stove, you're going to be tight. With 2 cots in there, you're going to be just fine. So if you're using cots, 2 people max with the stove, yeah, go ahead and go with the RockFortress. The zippers, that is a huge advantage, having 2 zippers at the door. If it's going to be you and maybe a few kids, definitely the FireHiking. The FireHiking has the advantage in the size. It also has the advantage in the ventilation. You get 2 vents up at the top and 2 vents down at the bottom. Less condensation in the mornings when you wake up. And there's a lot more room into it. So those are the advantages and disadvantages. Clear winner? I don't think so. I think it's just going to depend on your situation. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed, looking inside both of these and seeing, hey, which one you might want. But definitely it depends on your situation, which one would be better for you. I can't answer that for you. For me, if I'm just by myself, OneTigris. If I'm going to be with several other people, kids, whatever, FireHiking. What do you think? You think there's a better tent out there that's a TIPI style that is a hot tent? Hey, let me know. I might just buy it and do a review on it and stay in it, live in it for a couple of weeks, and give a review on it. So just let me know what you think of this review. I hope you guys appreciate it. Shout out again to those who subscribed. Have a nice day. Happy camper out.